Rather than curse the darkness when she recognized the news photos of several murdered kids from her neighborhood, tonight's honoree chose instead to light a candle. She chose to organize and mentor Spencer Elementary School's Young Men of Honor. With no formal organization, no membership, no board of directors, no funding, Diane Jackson, with guidance, structure, and love, has exposed them to new opportunities. Ms. Jackson exemplifies how a so-called average person can translate a negative into a positive.
I saw an article in the paper in 2000 where we had about 42 African Americans males that had died on the streets, whether by shooting or drugs or some gang-related events. And a lot of those young people that I saw were children that went to school with my children, children that my husband coached. And I knew that, you know, sometimes we wait for other people to do it when we can make a difference. So I just decided that I was going to do something. I didn't start right then. I waited for a little while, a couple of years later, and I kept seeing things happening. So I decided instead of complaining, it was time to do something. And so I started, and I remember something that Edmund Burke even said, and he said that all that's necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. You have to have money to start a program, but I didn't, and I knew that I couldn't wait on a dollar. What needed to be done had to be done whether we had finances or not. And so I started it. I wanted 12 boys. Unfortunately, I didn't get 12. I got almost 40 the first year, and I didn't know exactly what to do because, like I said, I raised 5 girls. My husband and I raised 5 girls. And so what I started doing was just, you know, having community leaders and people in the community to come out and begin to talk to them. I took them to places out of town. We did field trips, we went on out of trip, anything to get them out of that environment that they were used to seeing. And I knew that the world was a bigger place than what they have, you know, that they saw. So I wanted to take them to those places to let them see that, hey, you can be this, you can do that, this is what you can do, this is what you can be. And they believed it.
What does Ms. Jackson teach you?
Respect, ownership, a lot of history, math, reading, science and social studies. She teaches all of that. Some people, some little boys out there don't even know their own history. They just, you know how all your heroes, all like Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall, all fought civil rights for you. And some people out there don't even know. It shows in me that I know that I have to learn my history and know where I am. It teaches me that I'm in a family that I know I can love and trust.
I was able to form relationships with these young men and their parents and stuff. I saw the need. And then I realized that a lot of times when our children act up, it's the deeper root to the problem than just what we see on the outside.
I didn't really have nothing to do. I didn't go home. All I did was go home and just sit until I met Ms. Jackson, and she, you know, she talked to me and told me get in my group, you know, learn something, you get to do stuff. Back then it used to be like, okay, I could go here and get some snacks. But then it got going in deeper, and I got to learn history about, you know, Black history and about how to be a man.
They see so much going on in their environment, but I've always told them that your environment does not determine who you are. You know, you don't have, if it's negative, you don't have to be negative. I live in the inner city area, and I've seen drug deals, I've seen shootings, I've seen people shot down in the street laying dead. But it doesn't make me a drug dealer, it doesn't make me a murderer, it doesn't make me a thief. So therefore, I want them to understand that they're great, and they can come out of any situation. They don't have to conform to that situation that they're in.
It shows to me that my grandma teaches me history, and it's like we be in a big happy family together.
Well, one person can make a difference, you know, even if we just start in our own community, because it really does take a village to raise the children. The village has stopped raising the children, but the village needs to get back to raising the children, and that's everybody in the village need to be concerned about our youth, whether they're male or female, need to be concerned about the children. They're great, and there's greatness in them. And it's up to us to see the greater that's in them and to show them that there's a better way, that they are great men. You know, in spite of anything else, they're great and they have a future.
So now you can see why Ms. Diane Jackson is so worthy of this Community Service Award. Please welcome Ms. Kathy Hill of Georgia Power and Mr. Yami Adeyemo, who will make the presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always very special to be a part of the 100th annual celebration when they recognize their mentees and those who are mentoring our young people throughout our community. But I have to tell you that I am especially humbled, honored, and inspired to be a part of this year's ceremony as the 100 Black Men of Savannah present their 2011 Community Service Award. The Community Service Award is presented to that individual who, by their initiative and actions over a sustained period of time, has made a significant and lasting difference in meeting the needs of and improving the quality of life for Savannah's young people. Yomi?
Good evening. My name is Yami Adeyemo, and I am a student at Armstrong Glenn State University and a member of the Collegiate 100. Tonight, I am honored to team with Ms. Kathy Hall to present the Community Service Award to a person who founded the Young Men of Honor to give young boys in her community a positive alternative. Without further ado, I present the 2011 Community Service Award to Ms. Diane Jackson. Young Men of Honor, join me. Ms. Jackson, please.
Thank you so much. And tonight I just want to say to God be the glory. If he had not put it in my heart to do, I could not do the things that I'm doing. If he had not given me the vision to move forward, I could not do it. And neither could I do it without all of the village coming together to help these young men that I love so dearly and carry them in my heart. You see, even as Langston Hughes has said, life for me ain't been no crystal stairs. But still in it, we still keep reaching and we still keep climbing. And it is so with the young men that I work with. Life for them had not been a crystal stair. But they keep on going and they keep on reaching. And they keep dreaming that one day they will be the young men that they should be and that they are. They will be the repairers of the breach to dwell in. They will be the fathers that will restore the family unit. And once the family gets restored, our community will be too. And once our community is restored, this whole city will be the way that it should be. I want to thank the president of the 100 Black Men, Mr. Johnson, to our mayor of the city, Mayor Otis Johnson, and to all those that have come out to speak with the boys, and for Mr. Hinksley from St. Joseph County for giving us a table tonight that we can come out and enjoy and to feast with you for this event. And if it's all right with you, and I want to thank my husband, I can't leave it my husband because he has put up with me and all of these little boys for the last 6.5 years. But I want to thank you. And if it's okay, I would like to read just a little quote by Benjamin Mays. Let me know if my 2 minutes are up. It says, the African-American educator, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays said, "It must be borne in mind that the tragedy of life does not lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach. It is not a calamity to die with dreams unfulfilled, but it is a calamity not to dream. It is not a disaster to be unable to capture your idea, but it is a disaster to have no idea to even capture. It is not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach. It is not failure, but low aim, and that is sin. And therefore, I feel that we, as adults, must have the ability to continue to dream on, and not only to dream for ourselves, but to dream for the so many children that are around us, to dream and to give them visions of success that they too will become great. So I want to thank you tonight for this honor. It is truly indeed an honor. And even if I never had an award, I would still do what I'm doing because it is the right thing to do. These are our children. And it doesn't matter if you have a lot, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit. These children need each and every one of us. We look at them sometimes from the outside, and we see where they come from and where they've been. But if you honestly get the time to take and know these children and these young men, you will see that they have the greatest of heart. And they deserve the best that we can give them in spite of their conditions. So I thank God for your prayers. And I thank God for you for supporting us in all our endeavors. And the greatest of these young men, y'all give these young men a hand of love. Thank you. Oh,